Hello, this is Pack Your Bags with Tui, and I'm Russell Kane, the podcast where we dig through celebrity suitcases one item at a time. Each episode, I'm joined by some of the biggest names from the world of sport, food, entertainment, and more. They're going to share their 3 must-pack travel items, from oddball keepsakes to brilliant travel hacks. Each item offers a glimpse into how they view the world, whether they're living the high life in 5-star comfort or surviving on a campsite. Mostly it's the first one, I'm not going to lie. It's not just about unpacking our guests' luggage. Okay, maybe there's going to be a bit of emotional baggage too. We're also sorting out your travel dilemmas. Listeners have sent dilemmas in, and we have a go at solving them with the help of my guest. And to polish it all off, we end with a quick fire round that really puts them in the hot seat. So there's only one thing left to do. Enjoy the episode. Today, I'm joined by journalist and documentary presenter. It's Stacey Dooney, MBE. MBE.
What about me clapping myself?
I know. It's spelling MBE that's the challenge for me.
Well, it's really tricky.
It's one of those words.
No, I understand. Listen, you're not alone, Russell. What a treat this is.
I know.
How are you?
We'll have to drop into dialect in a minute.
No, fine.
To confuse everyone.
Yeah.
Welcome to Pack Your Bags with Tui. How are you today? You
I'm
good?
actually spot on. I'm really, really good. I was in a hotel last night, so I've slept properly, which is such a treat. But now I'm really good, really happy, delighted to be here.
I know it's 2 years in, but what people have got to understand about parenthood is 2 years still feels like newborn.
Babe, listen, as you will know more than me because you're further down the line. So your little girl's 9.
9, but it's the same. It's newborn still.
No, fair enough. So my little girl's 2. Actually, I've got to say, this is probably my favourite period. Do you know what I mean? Like the first 6 months, you're in the trenches. You're so tired. You don't know what day of the week it is. You think this is totally unsustainable. I'm never going to eat a hot meal again. I'm never going to sleep, And then about a year into it, you think, oh, we got through the year. You sort of high-fiving your partner. Now she's 2. She's chaos. She can talk. She's like my little pal. It's so fun.
It's because they can communicate their frustration that makes life so much easier.
Yeah, you know where you are.
Yeah.
Why are you kicking off?
Even if it's an unreasonable demand, at least it's being voiced.
And it will be met.
Let's face it. Each episode, we have a travel dilemma.
Okay.
And it's been submitted from our audience, high audience. And of course, we're not suggesting that all of our guests are travel experts per se, but we love advice from people that have done a lot of travel, and you have done a lot of travel.
Yeah.
Are you ready to hear your dilemma?
Yes, please.
Can you solve this?
I bet I can.
Planning to pop the question to my girlfriend on our summer holiday later this year in Italy. Any advice? Not sure how to not let my nerves give it away the whole trip.
Well, I've never been proposed to. However, I have been exposed to a lot of proposals because every time somebody proposes abroad in a place like Italy, the whole thing is filmed surreptitiously on the iPhone. So what I would suggest is maybe don't go down that road. How about the proposal starts first thing? And then they can enjoy, yes, we're celebrating, we're in Italy, we're going to get married, this is amazing. Then they can go out, celebrate again, enjoy the day, take in the sights, a light dinner.
What about the nerves? What about sort of cover something going on at work, to pretend small drama at work to cover over the distraction?
When you start fibbing.
I know.
It's
for a good reason.
It kind of crawls away with itself though, doesn't it? And before you know it, you've kind of invented this saga that you can't even really remember. I think in some instances you just have to suck it up and go for it. Just 4 in.
Do a day 1 proposal and then it's
hold for 4, out for 4. Day 1 proposal I think is the way to go. Also because if they're anticipating it, they're going to get the if it hasn't happened by day 3. That's sound advice.
Do it on day 1, do it in the morning, and if the nerves get too bad, Imodium.
Are you married?
Of course.
Oh, where did you get married?
This is the second marriage, but I've been told to enjoy the middle marriage. We were moving into a house that we were doing up, and the night before the work started, I hired a chef to have a posh dinner in the dilapidated house.
Russell.
So she didn't smell a rat. She thought it was a celebration of the house.
Yes.
And the dessert, I was like, it's this really posh dessert this geezer does. I don't even understand it. He prepares it all, and it comes in on a dish, and I don't understand this dessert, but it's going to be amazing. Of course, underneath that cloche, there was,
That is really knockout,
it was a stone.
actually.
And it was a legit one as well, even though my cousin Mickey's doing 7.
Did you know what? That was really considered.
Oh.
You're not daft, are you?
Travel and romance are
they go
linked.
hand in hand.
Yeah.
So did you get...
Are you a romantic? Do you like gestures like that, or do you cringe?
I love romance. Yeah. Sometimes there's that conversation playing out, isn't there? What can we say? What can't we say? What can we offer? What can't we offer? Offer me everything. Take my bag. Open the door. Let me go first. Fuss, fuss, fuss.
So a buffet of old school, and you'll pick what you want. Stacey, what is your first must-pack item in your bag?
Right. My first must-pack item, and this is non-negotiable, is a bottle of Calpol.
I take it this is a recent one. It's not something you were on before.
No, and now I cannot leave the house without a bottle of Calpol. So forget the idea of entertaining going on a plane without a bottle of Calpol.
Yeah.
Because you know what it's like when you've got a baby or you've got kids, they're fine. At 12 o'clock, they're fine. They're laughing, they're running around the house, chaos. 1 o'clock,
They go downhill quick.
they start getting snotty.
Yeah.
2 o'clock, they've got raging temperature. 3 o'clock, it's game over.
Yeah.
So I need...
Well, that story got dark. Just to be clear, by game
No,
over, what
it's
Stacey
like-
meant was a full cold.
Yeah, like a full-blown cold.
Turned into
So-
like a Ken Loach film.
A lot of people worry, don't they? They like genuinely sort of panic about bringing a baby or bringing a young kid on the plane because they don't want to, you know, if the baby's kicking off and it's crying or whatever, or having a hard time. Some passengers are not really into it. But I don't really worry about that too much.
I mean, let's go there. Sleep and everything. So do you pick your flight times or your travel times or your destinations based around your daughter's sleep routine? Because for everything followed from sleep once we became parents.
I should, but I don't. I just think, what's easiest? Where are we the day before? What's cheapest? Let's do that.
Now, you used to work at Luton Airport
I did.
selling perfume.
I did, Russell. Yeah, great
I bet you
days.
were great at that.
I was magic. I was brilliant. So it was my job. So, you know, all these lads would be going to Ibiza for a stag do and it's 5 a.m. and all they want to do is get to the Wetherspoons. They are not interested in buying a bottle of Issey Miyake. Or so they thought. I could sniff them from a mile away. I'd be like, there'd be 7 of those lads, 3 of them I could get to buy this bottle. Easy, light work. So I would just, you know, drench the sticks with the spray, throw them at the boys, and I'd be like, this is what you need. And they would just buy it. I think sometimes out of pity.
So when you were working in Luton, what was it like feeding off that buzz of people going on holiday?
Do you know, I loved that job. Really, I did. It was me and all my pals. So a girl called Blondie, Little Joe. There was like a whole gang of us.
Please tell me Little Joe was a brunette.
Little Joe was tiny, which is why she was called Little Joe, and there were 3 Joes. So we all worked there. And then on a Friday, I mean, it was the energy in that airport, you know, because everyone's going on holiday. So everyone's on great form. Everyone's half cut. Everyone's dressed up. You know, they've thought about their airport outfit. All we've got to do is sell some perfume. There was the lads opposite us. Do you remember? I don't think it happens so much now, but do you remember there was a period where you would buy a raffle ticket to win a luxury car in the airport?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So the boys that worked on that stand would turn the music up. It was brilliant. It was so, so brilliant.
Like, looking back, does it freak you out to think you used to be like spraying perfume on a stick in an airport and now you're travelling the world,
So
living the
lucky,
dream?
aren't I?
Do you nothing?
I don't want to sound like so earnest and like, oh, it's such a cliche, but I'm actually so lucky. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I used to, and I love Luton Airport. Like my pals, you know, it was a fun gig. Sometimes actually I'd like do a double shift on the Friday. So that was 6 till 6. So you'd get in, it was pitch black. You'd leave, it was pitch black. But then on a Friday, I would sometimes get a flight, go to Ibiza or Marbella, come back on the Monday at the 5 a.m. and go straight back to work.
Yes.
I was truly living that life.
Yes, mate.
I had about 80 quid for the weekends. And I've loved every minute of it.
What advice would you give to someone who's travelling for work but also wants to take full advantage of the new places they visit? Now, I'm awful for this because I'm in and out and don't leave the hotel and don't do places justice. I know I'm bad at it and I want to get better. I think this question's almost from me.
Is this you?
Well,
Russell, you're asking me?
because I have all these guests that I dump my bags and then I go out with my spare moments and I really immerse myself and I'm like, pretty sure I lay there watching Netflix.
Yeah, just scrolling. I am a bit like your other guests, annoyingly. I sort of want to make the most of it. When I'm at home, don't invite me to anything. I'm not interested. I want to be on the sofa with a cup of tea, with the telly on and a candle. That is my heaven. Sounds brilliant. When I'm abroad, I want to go for it. I don't want to miss out. And I go on like Condé Nast and I look at, right, where am I going to eat? Right, where are the fancy clothes? Right, where are the cool girls going? That is me.
Right,
I'm
so you do explore once you're there.
Properly. Kev's like so basic. He's like, oh, let's just go to this. He would go to like the first coffee shop he stumbled across. And I'm like, Kev, we've got 13 hours. We need to make the most of this. We don't want to get it wrong. Do you know what? This is interesting. One time I was in Seattle. I had 12 hours before I was flying to Heathrow. It was the 23rd of December. And I thought, let me just have a look. There's a place, I think it was called like Pike Place Fish Market. I thought, I've got 12 hours. As I got out of the cab, I left my purse, my passport, my phone, my boarding pass for the next connecting flight, the whole shebang. 23rd of December.
In the taxi?
Yep. So I'm at Pike's Place.
Wow.
Looking around thinking, what on earth am I going to do? I'm going to miss Christmas.
Did you not just do an instant cry?
I felt very panicked.
Yeah.
But I thought, you know what, now is not the time to lose it in the middle of this fish market.
Had it hailed a taxi, or was it an Uber that you could track?
It was just a random cab from the airport.
Oh no, that's worse,
So
because you
I've
can't
left
call
everything.
You can't even track them digitally.
I had no idea. So I stood in the middle of this fish market and I thought that I'm doomed. I'm going to have to sleep under that bridge. No one's going to know where I am. There's going to be a search party. I'm going to be missing for Christmas, like just catastrophizing. This fisherman, this is a totally true story, come up to me, must have seen the panic in my eyes and went, you okay? You all right? I said, you're not going to believe this. I said X, Y, and Z, told him what had just happened. Do you know what this strange man who I didn't know did? Give me $10. There's a coffee shop over there. Go and get yourself a drink. He went, I'm going to ring around the taxi firms that service the airport and see if I can figure this out for you. He found the man.
No, he did not.
I promise you, he found the cabbie, made him come back to bring all my gear, paid the fare, give me all my stuff. It sounds like I'm lying. I promise you this is totally true. Give me a slab of fish and said, have a great Christmas. Not a dream. I often think think about that, man.
The fish was the only bit of the story that stood out for me there.
Well,
it was all romantic and lovely until someone...
It was weird because he knew that I was getting a plane.
Was it raw?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a Hollywood movie until someone handed you a piece of raw fish.
I know. It was. I think it was stuck
Then
in a
it
bit
went
of paper.
into, was this guy dangerous?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What about that?
That is just human kindness.
What a diamond.
You expect it in a small village, but not in a major city like Seattle.
Yeah.
What's your second item?
My second item is, this is so raw, oat milk.
Oat milk.
I know, I'm sorry to be that person, but
Are you allergic?
Well, I don't like cow's milk. Every time I drink it, I get spots around my jaw. You know, we all have our crosses to bear. We all have our crosses to bear.
And I've got flat feet. Just
So I've got this, I'm into fancy milk now. I have to bring a carton. You know what? Every time I go to America as well, they just cannot make a cup of tea. I don't know why. It's a tea bag, boiling water and a bit of milk.
I know.
For some reason, they just cannot get to grips with it.
My mother-in-law travels with her own tea bags.
Yeah, I get it. Listen, I get it.
But then they bring hot water to the table and that's not going to infuse. Boiling water has to hit the tea bag. They just don't get it.
It's not going to infuse, is it, Russell?
That's the problem.
The thing is as well, the water's not boiling that they're bringing.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just not. It's lukewarm. And I keep saying to them every single time, please may you put the bag in. I don't want to seem pedantic, but please may you put the bag in, put boiling water. It needs to be boiling. It needs to totally be boiling.
Yeah.
And then a bit of milk.
Do you mean a slice of lemon?
No, I don't mean a slice of lemon.
I don't want a slice of lemon.
I just want my fancy oat milk, and that is that, but not too much.
Because I suppose the good thing about oat milk is it doesn't go off, does it?
Yeah, I got it for ages. And also, you have to really pull the ring to open it so it doesn't leak.
Yeah, good.
There's no leaking hazard.
Shout.
Yeah.
Now, you've covered some pretty heavy topics and you've seen some heavy things in your career. So do you use holidays to recharge, or do you use them to explore and drain off your cultural battery?
Probably a bit of both, I suppose. When did we last go away? The last trip we went a couple of months ago. We took the baby. We went to Finland, Lapland, and it was beautiful. I mean, it was...
For Christmas?
Yeah, we went in January because it was cheaper.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like the same holiday 3 weeks after.
That's where Santa's house would have been. He's off now.
You see those footprints? That was reindeer. That was Rudolph.
Look at the tracks where the reindeer were, but think of what we saved.
It's true. It's totally true. We were chasing the Northern Lights.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you get lucky?
Never saw them.
Got the app. You can get the app and you can chase them.
Have you seen them?
We did Lapland, not this Christmas, last Christmas.
Oh, fine.
And it was just so amazing. So before we went, my daughter wrote her Santa's letter in the garden.
Stop.
And then you burn it. But when you get there, Santa has the original handwritten letter that you burn, and it just blew Minna's mind, because that any doubt she had was gone when he produced her original letter, knew everything about her, the name of our pets. They just knew everything.
Stop.
It was brilliant.
Oh,
We have to go
love
to
a
the
rock.
workshop. We sort the mail, and they make all the parents like race against the elves.
Stop!
It's non-stop mischief. I know it might seem a bit indulgent and it might seem a bit
Yeah.
organised, but you've got to do it before your kid is 8 or 9.
You've got to lean into it. You've got to lean
do
into it. Did you see the lights?
We did.
Oh, so
I
gel.
saw them for another project. I did a survival project where we filming in the Arctic, and one night they just this trippy green sky.
Oh,
It is weird. It's magical. So, would you recommend Finland for a trip?
I loved it. I really love Finland. I love Denmark.
Yeah?
I go to Copenhagen often.
Oh.
You been Copenhagen?
Yeah, I've gigged there.
Oh, no way.
Because their English is literally better than ours.
Much better than ours, actually.
So we're like, can you pass me them shoes? I think you mean those. I loved it so much. The food was lovely. You don't think of Copenhagen as a cuisine destination, but it's got some of the top restaurants in the world.
Anchovies on toast. They do it like no other.
What did you do in Copenhagen? Anything you can recommend?
I ate anchovies on toast. I was in awe of all the women. They're just so crazy beautiful.
But you get a little bit annoyed when you go to a country where everyone's good looking.
I feel really uncool. I think, what am I wearing? This is stupid. I look daft. And actually, I'm just going to go and sit in the hotel room. Yeah.
No, because you get some British couples go, actually, like, don't include me. We're quite a good looking British couple. And you get to Scandinavia, you're like, we're trolls.
Are you?
We're trolls. Get back on
Are you?
Get back on the plane, Gary. Would you say travel has changed you as a person fundamentally?
Completely, entirely changed me. I think, and that's been actually a really beautiful thing. Like, I left school 15, 16, sort of, didn't have any qualifications, didn't go college, didn't do uni, went straight working. I was working in a pub and then I went to the airport. So I hadn't really been exposed to any different, as I said earlier, no different sort of cultures. I hadn't had that privilege. And then I started traveling when I was about sort of 19, 20. I went to India and I was like, I'm mesmerized. I cannot believe I'm here experiencing this.
And how did it change you? Did it make you reflect on your own life, or did it make you think about the wide world out there and want to do stuff? What did it do to you?
I think it just, everything. I was never an academic. I was never an intellect, but I was always sort of emotionally intelligent and switched on in that way. And, when you're traveling and you're meeting people, you're like a sponge. Do you know what I mean? And I think I would be such a different person if I hadn't traveled the way that I have. Because, it sort of shapes your belief system. It does. It sounds really like radical and really over the top, but your ethics, what you think about things politically, all of that.
So it makes you more open, would you say? More receptive
open,
to other cultures?
More rounded, more receptive, less judgmental, all of the above.
Third item?
My third item, well, it was between my phone and this concealer that I can't go anywhere without. But I've gone for the phone because you have to be practical. So I know that's quite boring, isn't it?
Well, not really, because I think it brings up the issues of how technology has changed travel and being present. It's fair enough on the plane. You can have your movies downloaded or whatever. We use our devices. But when we get off that plane, wherever we are, Oslo, Thailand, travel has fundamentally changed because of this little box in the pocket begging to be looked at all the time. How do you balance that? Well,
I'm embarrassed at how addicted I am to the phone. Like I am. I'm a grown woman and I sometimes can't put it down. It's kind of tragic.
Yeah.
But I do try and be quite militant. Like, when we're eating, there's no phones at the table. When we're traveling, I'll use it to take the photos or whatever. That's the thing as well. There's this desire to document every single thing.
This is the problem with the camera on.
I know.
Do you know what we've been doing? So what Lindsay's slightly better than me with self-control with the phone. So we leave all mobiles in the hotel room.
Do you?
And she takes her phone in flight mode in case we need to take photos.
Really?
For dinner, if we're like staying in the resort for that night, what is the reason?
No, you're right.
Your baby's with you, your fella's with you, my in-laws are with me. We travel as a pack. What do I need that phone for? So I can have a cheeky Instagram check when I go for a week. That's what's going down. Let's face it.
So on the money.
We leave them in the safe, and Lindsay, who can be trusted, she has one phone, whichever's got the best camera in it, just in case something amazing happens at dinner and we need to film it or take a picture.
Do you know what? I am going to echo that. I'm going to do that next time we go away, because this is the thing as well, isn't it? Once the plane lands, so the plane takes off and none of us are looking at our phones and you can actually think about things. And I love that nobody can get hold of me. Then the plane lands and the first thing everybody does is checks their phone. and everyone's just like waiting on the tarmac, just swipe.
Beep, 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 beep.
I
Everyone's bipping and
know.
buzzing.
But actually, I do need, then if you're trying to explore, you need the maps and, my Apple Pay, all the rest of it. But there are ways around it.
The dinner in the hotel is a good place to start. How do you stay present when you're on holiday, like really engaged with your environment? Do you have any techniques?
It's really important that I try and do that, because, again, it sounds so cheesy, but actually, like, it's such a treat, isn't it? To be away with the family.
It goes so fast, Charlotte,
and
as well.
Yeah, and it goes so fast. And I want to make them, I sound so cheesy, I'm so sorry, but I just want to make the most of it. Travel is like such a luxury. So I'm going to adopt what you guys do. Really, I am.
How adventurous are you with your food on holiday?
I will eat anything.
Yeah, same as me.
I will eat.
Does that come from childhood? Whereas if you don't eat it, you're
going to be hungry. Yeah.
Same as me.
You're not going to eat for 24 hours.
Shall I make some nuggets for you, Bibby? Would you like a 5,000th goujon of the day? There's none of that. It was like in the garden. I thought I was getting away with it. I'm not eating the sprouts and shepherd's pie. Don't have to, boy.
Yeah, you'd be
Thanks,
starving.
Dad. Day 3, though. Brussels sprouts looking a little bit appetising, aren't they?
I'll eat anything, and I've eaten most things.
I wouldn't eat something I'd keep as a pet. That's my cut-off.
No, I understand.
So I would eat rabbit when I was a kid, but once I'd had a rabbit as a pet, nah.
Yeah. But that's that kind of poses the question, doesn't it? It's like we romanticize, we sort of see some animals as like really majestic, and oh my God, that would be so awful to eat them, but actually we'll eat others.
Yeah.
So I'll eat anything, really.
When I was in the Arctic Circle, and we got to speak to someone, an original Sami tribesman, because in the north of Norway, they don't actually speak Norwegian, they speak Sami and they're sort of indigenous peoples. And they'd prepared this dish for me with the cameras running, thinking I'd be shocked, not realising the true level of peasant eat anything within me.
Listen, give me it. Yeah.
And the starter was a pancake made with blood. So it was sweet, but like black pudding, which I love.
What blood?
It was the reindeer blood they'd put into the pancake mix, and they fried it, and it was super sweet blood pancake. Looked weird, tasted great.
So you enjoyed it?
Like black pudding, like pancake, down the hatch.
The director wants you to go, I just can't do it. I just can't do it.
The main course, a whole reindeer's head had been boiled in the pot, and you sat round with the family members, like getting bits of meat out of the cheek and stuff like that.
But you're utilising the whole...
Delicious.
The whole animal. Which
delicious.
I think, yeah.
This is why Pointless me doing the jungle. I'll be straight on those testicles.
Give me them.
Seconds, please.
Got any more?
So, quick fire question time.
Go on.
It'll be a miracle if we're quick fire.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Go on.
Obviously, apart from husband, who's your dream celeb travel partner?
Well, my current girl crush is Erin Doherty. She's in 1,000 Blows. Have you seen 1,000 Blows?
No.
With Stephen Graham?
No.
Who I'm also obsessed with.
Yeah.
She's the main girl in it. She's so great. And she's now, she's my current crush. Maybe Erin. I'd invite Erin.
Erin, get your boarding pass ready.
I think she's probably quite busy and much cooler than me.
First thing on your plate at the buffet?
If it's a Sunday, obviously I'll just take the roast straight away. If it's a breakfast buffet, I'll probably have a bit of melon, brown toast with Marmite, and a couple of hash browns.
At the dinner buffet, do you go up like first and have like a salad starter type experience?
No,
I have to do that.
Do you? Well, you want to get your money's worth.
Otherwise, my father-in-law, no, he just like, every hour I've got a bit of curry here, and here's a bit of sushi.
I hate it when it doesn't match. Yeah. I hate it when people put food on the same plate and it doesn't match.
I have to have like the small plate starter experience.
Yeah. Have some decorum.
Biggest travel ick?
Oh, I know this one, which I used to do. Wherever you are, you think you're being like, I'm so in the know because you buy clothes from the market and you sport the clothes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And actually nobody in that market is wearing those clothes.
No.
They're wearing a pair of jeans.
So you're trying to look like you know the local stuff and you're down with the locals.
Yeah, so lame. So me.
Best beach destination?
The Philippines is pretty beautiful.
Really?
Stunning, actually.
The first thing you do when you check into your hotel, are you an unpacker or you dump the bags and run down?
I'll dump the bags
straight with a cocktail on the balcony.
It's funny when people hang up their clothes for the week, isn't it?
I'll tell you what has changed my life. This is hardcore travel hack.
Go on.
Travel cubes. They're made of fabric. You fold your T-shirt in half and then roll it so it looks like a fat cigar. It takes up less room.
I like Marie Kondo style.
You put them in, your cube labelled T-shirts, and it's just like
don't label it T-shirts.
They come all labelled, right? And then there's another zip that compresses it down afterwards. Like, like your case has got a compression zip. So they're like mini fabric suitcases. So when you get to the hotel, you just lift out T-shirts, trousers. They're all on a shelf. And when you want one, you just take it out, iron it, put it on.
Do you iron your clothes before you put...
Depends how mash up they are.
Yeah.
If they are crinkly, man is not going out of crinkled threads.
No.
Believe.
No, quite right.
Thoughts on clapping when the plane lands?
I don't mind it. I just don't mind it. I think they're on holiday. Let them have a good time.
Okay.
And I hate when people are so highbrow and stuffy, like, oh, that's so naff. I'm like, you're so naff. Let them live.
Yeah, you clap at the opera.
Yeah, you clap at the opera. Let them clap here. Yeah, in fact, I'm going to clap next time we land.
Favourite holiday snack?
I actually love eating in bed, in the hotel bed.
Yeah.
I love room service. Kev's not into room service.
Crumbs.
Crumbs in the bed.
Now, top of the bed, towel down. We've got compromise. No, because I don't want to be like you know, late at night when you're coming from the buffet, you just got the baby sorted, you're falling asleep.
No, I do get
and
that.
then there's like crumbs in there.
Toast up your bum.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, fine. But I love room service. I just think, let me just eat this in peace.
It does feel indulgent.
It feels very indulgent.
This gives away a lot psychologically about a person, I've been learning.
Go on.
Window or aisle seat?
Window. You know why? I'm not a brilliant flyer. So hilariously. So I like to keep my eye on the wing because obviously me looking at that wing is going to keep the plane in the air.
Right.
You know?
Any bucket list destination you've not been to yet?
I have never been to New Zealand. I would love to go to New Zealand. I hear rave reviews.
What is your go-to holiday drink?
Shirley Temple or a cup of tea with oat milk.
Of course, we've established that.
I love a Shirley tea. Do you?
I don't mind it.
It's not your fave.
I used to really be into cocktails, but now I'm a beer and wine person, I've got to be honest.
Fine.
If I'm drinking cocktails, I just like my vodka martini.
Yeah.
I like my vodka just to be a vodka and not mess around.
Yeah.
What's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you when you're travelling?
Oh, where do I start? I'm so desperately uncool and I always find myself making an ass of myself when I'm on holiday or travelling. The most embarrassing thing, probably can't.
Is it a bathroom mishap?
Everyone's got a bathroom mishap, haven't they?
I could tell by your face. A toilet-based anecdote was happening.
I'll leave it there, will I? But yeah, I've been caught short a few times. It's
Really?
difficult. It's tricky.
I had food poisoning on a flight once, and you have to be sat down for takeoff and landing. And it's just like, I've never had to concentrate on two ends of my body so hard at once. Just to relax for a second and you've got a filthy Catherine wheel.
No,
that's both ends, the Catherine wheel.
You don't need the responsibility, do you? I mean, I've been caught. I should be more specific. I'm talking about just desperately needing a wee and going for a wee in the cooler box.
Really?
Like taking the cans of lemonade out and going for a wee in the cool box.
Favourite holiday activity?
This is so...
Chilling, exploring.
This is so basic. Shopping.
Yeah.
It's so basic.
Own it.
Isn't
No
it?
one said that. So
yeah, but I loved it. You know, I can't pretend I'm going around looking at the temples.
Are we talking trinkets or clothes or handbag? Like what are you shopping for?
I can shop for anything, really. I mean, I know some people go to the museums or they go to, look at the art or they go to look at the temples, but it's just not what sets my world on fire. I want to go for something lovely to eat, have a nice coffee, look around the shops, take the baby to the park. I'm pretty...
Why not?
Pretty one-dimensional, sorry.
You've visited so many amazing places with your work, but what's the best place you say you visited for work?
I loved Peru.
Pull that out about
Yeah.
We haven't had a Peru yet.
Yeah. Peru was stunning.
So what went on there? So flying to Lima, is it?
Yeah, flying to Lima. Our fixer was a delight. So I had a really nice gang on that gig. And
just for listeners, a fixer is someone who works on a production.
Yeah, so
and
like
a gang is the crew. Because
it
does sound a little bit like you were doing a job.
I had a really beautiful team on that gig. I sound like I'm showing off, which I probably am. But I had been in Honduras 2 weeks before. And that was quite full on. And then we went to Peru and it was just like, when you can exhale and just have a really lovely time. And that was a delight.
Best travel memory?
Best travel memory.
It could be Benidorm.
Actually, it wasn't Benidorm because that's the first time I got stuck in a lift and I haven't been in a lift since.
Right.
That was actually pretty bleak.
So now when you...
That was my worst memory.
You never use lifts ever?
No, I hate them. I was upstairs.
What if you're in the 14th
morning.
floor of a hotel?
I'm walking up them stairs.
What about if you got in the lift but focused on the door? Because it would be like your wing logic.
No, I know what you mean. I mean, this is fun. One time I was in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
We met a lad who was the cameraman for the Chicago Bulls, right? The team. I didn't know anything about basketball. I still don't know anything about basketball. He got us tickets to go and see a game. That was like such an experience. Then he invited us to the Chicago Bulls after party.
Yeah.
And I was in the club with all these basketball players. They were throwing $100 bills, like in the music videos. That was really, truly happening. And I was picking up the $100 bills.
Wow.
I had about 600 quid in my pocket.
Well, Stacey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Honestly, that has been a journey around your mind. You've been almost bloody
Hasn't it?
everywhere. Anything else coming up that you want to promote? What are you up to? Because you always do that. You make such amazing things, and you go to so many amazing places. You've got your wonderful book with your letters from all your mums. What's next?
What am I doing? I'm doing a bit more filming next month for a new series, Sleeps Over series. That's really fun.
There is more sleepovers.
There's more sleepovers.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Russell. What a treat.
This episode of Pack Your Bags with Tui is over. Thank you so much. If it's your first time listening, we've got plenty more episodes for you to dig into. We've got Sue Perkins, Rob Beckett,
Fun.
the relationship expert Paul C. Brunson, just pouring liquid charisma into me the whole time he was here. And for those of you that have been with us all series, thanks for joining us on this journey. It's been a blast. Goodbye.
Book a flight. Bye.
We're boarding. I like the aisle seat. You can have the window.
Yeah, no, we're perfect together.